Hello, everyone. Welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you are having an amazing day. We're taking another look here at Gala, see what's going on with that, and obviously, peek over at Bitcoin, but not much to note for Bitcoin here. Pretty straightforward, just slowly progressing upwards. Kind of nice little recovery there, trending closer to about 50,000, but still stuck below that level. Bear in mind, we're not considered bullish until we get up over about 52,300 with that upper Fibonacci retracement level. But for now, not bad stuff. Okay. All good. We got to celebrate that. I do think we should be cautious, of course. Continue to dollar cost average, just based on the simple fact we got some news coming up this week here, and some pretty important things that are going to occur. I believe Tuesday and Wednesday. So just be mindful of that. So let's go ahead and take a look at Gala. Oh, and just before we do, not a financial advisor, right? I'm sure you've heard that before, but I just love teaching people how to trade, and my goal, my passion is to help you become a better trader. So feel free to join my Patreon community. Link in the description below for that, where I help you become a better, more effective trader. We all learn and grow together, and I share trades, every single trade that I take, with my community as signals, and you can just one-click follow if you'd like. Really awesome situation. So taking a look here at Gala, what we want to do is we want to look at a few different things, of course. First things first, we want to look at the moving averages. Those are well behind. We're going to pay attention to that on the 4-hour chart, but for right now, nothing much to note there. We've also got, between 50 and 70 on the RSI, so we're pretty much right at 60, low 60s. That's a great sign, kind of showing us that we have this little bit more momentum, this push back to the upside. And ultimately, we like to see a range in that 60-70 range on the one-day chart, because it tells us we have plenty more room for growth, but also the simple fact that we're more so on the right side of the fence, and we never broke down below. I mean, look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days out of 9 in a row, effectively, where the price would not come down any lower than 47 cents. That's a very good sign for Gala. It should imply that that's the floor rate, the bottom line. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't drop to just say 40,000 in the near future, then we're probably going to be just fine for Gala. That should be the bottom. Okay, but also bear in mind too, the more often you test a support level, the more likely it is to break. And that's why I'm very glad to see the price up here above this recent support about 55 cents. So 55 should be the new bottom, if you will, whereas we shouldn't expect the price to come much lower than that. Yes, it obviously retraced in the more recent past here. You can see that significant turnaround, but I think that just based on the fact that I think there was a release in news there and some type of event for Gala, and that obviously drove the price up. And usually when those events are over, whatever that might have been, the price will come back down when that hype is gone, right? It's that's why you wanna buy the news and sell the event, right? So in other words, be mindful of that. Future reference, if there's ever an event again, feel free to buy into it before, and then of course sell as soon as it's finished. That's likely what happened there. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart. We can see we're back up over the 50-day moving average. Awesome stuff there. Really good sign here for Gala. We're also just bounced off of 70 on the RSI, which is pretty standard. We like to see that actually, because it allows for the price to kind of consolidate and retrace and get that healthy continuation back to the upside once it's had its chance to, the bears would take their profit effectively, right? So with the price coming down here, worst case scenario, I would say in the immediate future, again, pending Bitcoin being fairly stable, we're looking at about 55 cents as probably the lowest point which it should go, considering where we're at right now. But this is really good though. You can see we have some higher highs and higher lows, right? These are all good things. Ultimately, Gala is progressing upwards and making some nice strides. In fact, we look all the way back, Gala's lows are getting higher and higher. That's a very, very good sign. And ultimately, the recent highs are also getting higher. So ever since the 6th of December, in the last 6 days, we've effectively consistently increased higher highs and higher lows. So all good stuff here for Gala in that regard. Now, is it going to explode tomorrow? Probably not. I wouldn't expect that. But these coins have a tendency of doing that too. I don't think they're quite done yet. I do feel as if we'll probably see, it test its all-time high of 84 cents in the relative near future. But I don't foresee that being, I would say, in the immediate future, just based on the fact that there's still some fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market. And even though we've had a decent little green day from yesterday, most coins were able to increase and recover. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. So just be cautious. Just don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's my main recommendation here. be smart, okay? We wanna make sure we don't go all in on coins that you feel excited about. Small percentages, dollar cost average, 5% at a time, 10% at a time, and just slowly add to your positions. All right, so anyways, that's enough about that on the, let's look at the 1-hour chart and see where we're at. We could be seeing a turnaround here. Okay, this is a good example of how to pay attention to the Ichimoku cloud and how it's supposed to speak to you, right? In other words, we've got 3 out of 3 indicators here that we're still long, right? So for example, the price action is above the cloud here, right? So for the Ichimoku cloud, price is over there. That's check number 1. That's good news. Check number 2 is the fact that this conversion line is above the baseline, right? But as you can see here, it's trending down. So if and when it intersects there, that's a sign to sell your position, right? And I'll explain more about that, what I mean, but just this generally the concept, right? Ichimoku cloud, you take entry when you break above the cloud and all these indicators are open. And as soon as those indicators shift, that's case in point where you want to kind of exit. Again, Ichimoku cloud is a conservative trading style. It doesn't work for everybody. If you're bullish on Gala to the moon, don't worry about this, right? It's all well and good. But if you are kind of more of a short-term swing trader or perhaps even a day trader, we're getting signs that this should turn around. This should and could turn around soon, right? Now, again, this is a healthy continuation. This is a healthy consolidation. There's nothing wrong. I'm just stating that the cloud it's closing its doors here in that sense, and that should be something to pay attention to. And second thing also is this lagging span. As soon as it intersects with the price action, that's considered a sell signal. Okay, so it could very well just continue down and hit these candle wicks, and that would be considered a sell signal too. So we're literally about 2 hours away from potentially closing the door on this trade, or it could just literally, if the price comes up right here, then this won't intersect and this won't either, and everything's going to be kind of moving smoothly, right? So I'm not saying right now you want to close your position. Just note that the cloud is giving us the signal that we're soon to do that. And that's something to pay attention to, because it basically just signals a reversal, right? Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to just downtrend and just start flooring out and bottoming out. It just means that we want to maybe consider trimming our position or closing our position if you have a short-term swing trade in place. Okay, I hope I was clear on that. And I'm making a video on this here actually very, very soon for Ichimoku Cloud, so be tuned for that, because I think it's helpful for you to know that. The cloud is probably one of the most important indicators, I feel, in conjunction with just say the simple moving averages on the 4-hour chart and the MACD convergence. Some more like primitive indicators. The cloud is almost essentially the best indicator you could use, right? It's a more safer, conservative style, and that's kind of more my style personally. I like to take profits when I can, and I like to ensure that I get in where I fit in, and obviously we move in the direction you want to head. Try not to chase the bottom. Get in when you have that confirmation, and get out when you have that confirmation that you've stayed too long, right? All right, so anyways, that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and just summarize, and we'll call it a day here. TD sequential, one last thing here to note. We got up to a 9, right? We hit this resistance level right at a 9. Typically, when you hit a 9 at a resistance level, it's going to come back down. In other words, we had 9 hours of bullish momentum. In fact, we did this twice. If you look at this here, you see it comes up to a 9, retrace, got a little reset. Comes back up to an 8, and then we got this strong leg up, and then a push, and it couldn't hold the support, and it comes down and resists out. So ultimately, that's not a bad thing, because you think about it, you had 18 hours worth of bullish momentum, or pretty much 24 hours, right? And that full 1 day of push has to recover, right? In order for it to continue back upwards, we need to get this consolidation. In other words, the bears have to take their profits, and the bulls just kind of let them do so, right? Where they're averaging out the price. And we're defining that average true range. It was bringing that volume higher, but for right now, this is a very good sign. In fact, speaking of volume, let's do that and we'll call it a day. Let's go ahead and see in the last, what is this? How much, ever since we've seen a retracement. So ever since November 25th, roughly Thanksgiving, ever since Thanksgiving, we've seen the most amount of volume accumulate right at about 51.5 cents. This is ultimately the best, one of the better indicators. Of course, I've specified that already with the cloud. They all serve a purpose, right? But looking at the volume profile visible range, where we can see visibly right now, we have a strong accumulation of volume right in this channel here. Okay, now that's all well and good. There's nothing wrong or good or bad about that. What's good though, in the sense of the fact that we're above that level, volume accumulation it works as a support or a resistance, right? If you're above it, it's a support. If you're below, it's a resistance. So simply put, right now, the price action being above that, that's reaffirming the support level here at 55 cents. And I would venture to guess that if the price comes down any further, we should see a bounce off 55. So I would maybe consider adding to your position in this area, just based on the fact that we shouldn't expect it to come down much lower due to the fact that that's a strong support. Now, heaven forbid it does, and we lose 55 cents, we shouldn't expect the price to come much lower than 47 based on the fact that there's a tremendous amount of volume accumulation in this area. It's very similar to the volume weighted average price. If you're familiar with that, you use that on shorter time frames. In fact, I can give you that example right now. If we take a look at the volume weighted average price, we can see that the volume is essentially this blue line, right? So the price action being underneath the volume weighted average price, in the last 24 hours, this volume has basically telling us that it's working as a resistance now and it was previous to support. So if you can see the price being above that line, that was considered to be a support the entire time. And now we lost that, so we're more so, it's working as a resistance, driving the price action down. Again, this is a shorter time frame, different type of average because it's based on the last 24 hours of trading, not the last 2 or 3 weeks that I were looking at for the volume profile. But it's still the same concept, right? The price action being below the volume weighted average price, it's going to be working as a resistance. And if you look back here, of course, at the 1 hour chart, you can see that the most amount of volume accumulation is right here in this channel, essentially working as a support. So all good things. The price is retracing a little bit in the short term, but in the the big picture, we can tell that there's a lot of volume accumulation at 47, 48, 50 cents range, and that's a good sign to be above that. I hope that makes sense, and I'll continue to reiterate that in future videos, of course, but just note that this is, all good things here for Gala. There's literally no downside. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't go sub 48,000. I think we're going to be in pretty good shape here. Okay, we just need Bitcoin to behave for a couple more days, and ultimately, if we can get Bitcoin to be just some straight sideways action this week, coins like this are going to take off, and it's going to be an awesome, awesome situation. I love what I see here from Gala. Still bullish on the big picture here, and looking forward to taking more profits with this guy here soon. So thanks again for joining me. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. If you are looking for a leg up, of course, don't be afraid to check out my Patreon community. Link in the description below. We're going to be transitioning to a website later this month. It's going to be an awesome experience, more user-friendly, more premium content. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Thank you.